Hey guys, welcome back to another Texas and Oklahoma weather forecast. In today's video, we will be talking about the potential for severe weather over the Texas and Oklahoma region, especially in that, especially in the North Oklahoma into North Texas areas. We'll be talking about all of that on today's episode. So this is the most recent uh storm prediction center outlook from the National Weather Service. And if you notice, your main area is going to be from the Kansas City area to, of course, right here down into the Oklahoma area, where is right now our main risk is for tornadoes, where we do have a 10% sig risk, or no, just a normal 10 risk. There is a normal 10% risk of severe weather. That means there is a 10% risk of tornadoes in a 25-mile radius. And also but also after, even with that, you do have a hail risk with that same kind of area. And of course, after it, whenever the storms do finally dissipate from the area and start kind of doing more stuff, you still do have your hail risk. I got it flipped. This is your hail risk for tomorrow. Just a normal. It's gonna be when these supercells do form. Their hail risk. They'll be the same thing when they're strengthening, and then of course after the fact you do have a wind risk for the same area, reaching all the way down to Texas. The DFW area is also still in a 5%. If you're up here, you're in a 10%, and then down here, I we're gonna show models in a few minutes of the severe of what could happen and why I think this could get extended a little bit more down, adding Tulsa, not that exact area, but like extended into these areas tomorrow. And so this is pivotal weather. This is our going to be our weather model. We are going to be using this is the GFS. This is what it thinks it could happen. Have your low pressure system right there. And you have you have these storms. This is of course a low resolution model, so it's not going to show that much. But this is the HRRR for the same kind of. We go to light flash density before tomorrow. This will show kind of where any storms at all, where you do have at by the time this is around 7 p.m. 7 p.m. on Wednesday, where you start seeing storms forming into the OKC metro area, into these areas that are more favorable for this kind of environment. And this is also why we do go to your mixed layered cape. Oh no, your surface your mixed layered cape. You'll see why this area is your mixed area has about 1,000 joules per kilogram. What higher that is, the worse the environment is for severe weather like this. This is your surface base cape. Kind of your same kind of area. It's gonna be a low cape. You do have a lot of shear at this point. If we go to this area, you do have a lot of wind shear in this area, about 30 knots. Going to be a big thing for tomorrow. And if we will do a close-up look in a few seconds, where you see these little supercells start to form around 6, 7, 8 o'clock, and then they can drill into a line that just, if to really show going to nationwide to the continental U.S. This this line goes from the Great Lakes to almost Texas at one point, to Texas, the North Texas region, where of course you will have chances for some tornadoes, wind, and very heavy winds in those areas. But let's do a closer look to especially in your areas for the beginning of the event in the Oklahoma area. So of course, right up here, you're gonna need to watch So of course, this is what we're talking about. These little supercells that start to form off like this. We do go look at a sounding real quick. You will see this is entering an environment with really tapped out cape, a little bit of wind shear. That about 7 p.m. This is 10 p.m. where that line starts to form into also the Texas area. So you will see this line. What we will be talking about the flash flood stuff that could be happening also with this storm in a minute. Like I said, and then by storms will start will enter will start leaving the Tulsa area about 2 p.m. area. This is a weather model. It isn't always going to be perfect, of course, but it is showing what could happen. And now let's look at the North Texas region. And right now, you'll see these storm. We could get some supercells to start forming off right over here. Any of these pop-up storms that can happen and get tapped into this environment will and can produce, of course, all modes of severe weather: tornadoes, hail, and wind. I'm mainly looking at a hail and wind risk down here, though, for now. But and then, of course, when we first start out at around 10 p.m., you do start getting some little cells, of course, forming off of stuff, and then it'll form into a line and start entering DFW area. At least it'll hit Wise County at around forming and hit like the Wise County, Denton County area at around 1 p.m. 2 p.m. it'll start interacting with the DFW Metroplex, and then of course from then it dies off before it even gets to Tyler. This will be mainly winds, heavy winds. And with that also, you will see in the morning when you do wake up, you will see colder temperatures at this is around 6 or this is around 1 p.m. on Monday. And of course, with that too, we are now going to be going into seeing the rainfall from this. Of course, it's going to be a very fast moving storm. We'll look up into the Oklahoma region in a minute, but you're still going to have areas of Weatherford with almost 2 inches of rain possible in some of these areas. And of course, we do have the long term effect. We will look at in a minute of what the Climate Prediction Center is saying about this storm in a few minutes about what could happen. Let's go to let's switch back over to Oklahoma real quick because we forgot to do rainfall. It's a little bit less in Texas. Like I said, these aren't actual could happen totals. Oklahoma City, you're gonna be missed sadly by most of the rain, most likely. Of course, remember these models aren't always right. And so the GFS though, what we are going to be looking at now is the climate prediction outlooks for right now. Temperatures stay like how they have been, sadly, as in Texas. Maybe this outer band, these outer areas over here, could see some colder than average weather. That is going to be, and we could see if any weather is some snow maybe in this area. But what's really looks really good for us is we do have a 60+% chance of higher than average rainfall from November 4th to November 8th. This will and of course this will move hopefully into the 8 to 16 days out. So we will see a lot of rain over the next few days. Of course, we'll go back to the GFS to see this for rainfall wise real quick. That is model trends. No. And of course, like you see, next few days, this is like 200 out. This is November 7th. So by November 7th, you'll see areas probably go to 24-hour rainfall. Well, you'll see a lot of rainfall start to interact with the Texas and Oklahoma regions down there. Uh, of course, this will vary. This isn't a guaranteed, but it does look like it will most likely happen. For at this moment, the Texas and Oklahoma weather forecast base in Texas has not seen any rainfall this month. That could possibly change tomorrow as we will be getting hit by the storms. And at this moment, we are thinking about maybe going live for tomorrow, just as a precautionary, as the storms look like they will be more severe than forecasted yesterday. Well, that was a Texas and Oklahoma weather forecast. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe for more updates for this and for potential for us going live tomorrow. Thank you.